All right. Hey, friends. It's about that time again. We're talking a little team playoff. We're talking the state of the ACC. We've got some hoops updates. Who's going to ultimately win the regular season title? All of that here on today's episode of Locked on ACC.
You are Locked On ACC, your daily podcast on the Atlantic Coast Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's edition of Locked on ACC. I'm your host, Candace Cooper, joined by Kenton Gibbs of Locked on Wolfpack. Each and every day, you can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. Make sure you download, subscribe. We are almost to 2,000 subs. We would love to get there before the month's end, and we know that you can help us do that. This episode is brought to you by Nissan. Are you the kind of driver that likes to push things a little further? Even wonder what adventure could be around the next corner? Take the Nissan Rogue, Nissan Pathfinder, or Nissan Armada and go find your next big adventure. Check them all out today at nissanusa.com. Kenton Gibbs here as we're talking through some college football. We know that there is plenty going on around that bend. NFL Combine just happened. There are current players who are trying to figure out which way is up in terms of the season and what can they be playing for when it's all said and done, as well as state of ACC play. As we all know, things are rolling with the FSU versus the ACC. People are trying to figure out if they're going to stick around, stick beside it. So we'll tap into all of that here on today's show. Kenton, how are you feeling today?
Oh, I feel great. I feel great because there is, it's been much too long since we've graced these airways, and obviously the folks miss us. We got to bring them this good that they've been getting out of the ACC from us, and so we're back. We're back, and we're going to keep coming back time after time after time again.
1,000%. All right, as we move into things, we know that the ACC is definitely fighting for its life, but there could have been some sort of consolation as we talk through this new team playoff thing that was presented to the group. I would love to, if Kenton would go over just what the details are around this potential, not only 12-team, but now 14-team playoff scenario.
Yeah, for sure. So the way that this thing was pitched was that there would be 11 guaranteed seeds and 3 at-large bids. Now, the 11 would go as follows. 3 to the SEC, 3 to the Big Ten, 2 to the or actually, let me say it like this. 3 meaning the champion and next 2 highest ranked out of the Big Ten and SEC. The champion and the next highest ranked out of the ACC and the Big 12. And the highest ranking group of 5 team plus 3 at-large teams. So that is, in essence, what they're saying would be the configuration of the new playoff in terms of if it were to expand to 14, which many people are seeing as not so much of a if it expands to 14, it's more of a win. And, that's the proposed layout of it.
At this point, though, I'm sitting here saying to myself, just let everybody play. You lose 5 games, sure. You could still have yourself a chance to participate in a championship series. Let's let everybody get a participation trophy.
That's a little insane. Five losses is too many, but I do think that we're inevitably headed towards the same situation that the FCS has, where I believe it's about 40 some odd teams or something along those lines. Don't quote me on that. I'm probably wrong there, but the FCS has a good amount of teams in their playoff, and I want to let people know this. Increasing the amount of teams may not increase the parity, but it's not about solely increasing the parity. It's also about giving everybody a shot so nobody can complain, right? We don't have UCF claiming a national title that they didn't win if we let them go against a fully loaded LSU, Auburn, whoever it happened to be. We don't have the same situations that we're looking at in terms of a lot of group of 5 teams who, the goal is not just to win games, but they have to win their games by 35 points per game in order to get in. And for the ACC in particular, I think that this is a raw deal because when's the last time the 3rd best team in the Big Ten was better than or even close to the 2nd best team in the ACC?
100% agree there. But when's the last time the winner of the Big Ten has been something of snuff besides Michigan?
I mean, listen, I've been saying for a long time, Ryan Day runs a soft program up there in Columbus with all due respect. With all due respect, him coming at Lou Holtz was the ultimate sign. You're talking to an 80-year-old, brother. You're talking to a man who was around when the actual Gipper was around. You know, when Notre Dame said, win one for the Gipper. The Gipper was alive when Lou Holtz was coaching football. You understand? Shut up. Just do your deal. Win the football game. That's all you got to do. But in all seriousness, you know, and Carla, don't jump us because I know you up there in Ohio State and you in Big Ten country, but that's the reality of what we're looking at here. I don't think that it's fair or right to say, hey, we're going to have a built-in situation where we are guaranteed more bids than you all, despite the teams that are coming into the conference. Because let's just be honest, Texas's resurgence has been good to see. There were many years where Texas wasn't Texas. Oklahoma, without Lincoln Riley, looks very human. That was one of the worst divorces of all time in terms of both sides getting worse rather, with Oklahoma and Lincoln Riley. And so where are we getting this information that regardless of what happens, the SEC will have 3 of the best 15 teams in the country? Regardless of what happens, the Big Ten will have 3 of the best 15. Where? Because coaches can't seem to get out of Oregon fast enough. Every coach to go to Oregon is looking for that next dollar. I'll tell you what, they are the good luck Chuck of coaching. As soon as somebody land there, all right, so where we going next, boys? Hey, just signed a contract in Oregon. The ink ain't even dry yet, but where we going next? The same thing can be said for USC, UCLA, you know, and that's, you know, no disrespect to Stephen Foster, who just took over as head coach at UCLA. But again, I don't see any of these programs, UW looking to replace a coach as well, where you're saying, hey, these conferences are so good, they're going to be so far above the Big 12 and the ACC, it doesn't make sense to dole out the playoff bids by saying, hey, just get the best teams in there. Now, my personal, and I'm going to pass to you after this, I know I talked way too much here, but my personal opinion is it should be every champion that's inside the RPI top 35 needs to get a bid. I don't care what conference you're from. I don't care if you're from the Sun Belt. I don't care if you're from the MAC. I don't care if you're from the American. If you have an RPI that's inside the top 35, you get to go and you're a champion. Now, if you are outside of 35, you get replaced with an at-large bid, and we rock out like that. That would be my personal opinion, so that everybody gets a shot. No undefeated would ever be left out by that, you know, cause and metric, because again, if you're a conference champion, you go, and undefeated overrides RPI. So if you schedule soft and you in the American, good for you, but you're going to get exposed. You're going to get some real comp here coming up real soon.
Well, I think also one thing to note is that the turnover for the ACC hasn't been that great, right? Syracuse gets a new coach. You got Boston College that gets a new coach, but your top dogs aren't really turning things over. So when it comes to just who's going to be the best of the best, Clemson is going to be a good team. Florida State is going to be a good team, right? Like, we don't have to automatically throw away. Louisville is going to be a good team. You don't have to throw away the ACC's chances or tell us that they don't deserve as many bids as these other ones. But I will say it makes it feel like the jig is really up when you're automatically going to give certain conferences rights to, or, you know, bids of making championship runs. So I think that's the part where I'm just having a hard time. Like, what made them automatic qualifiers with the most qualifications?
Yeah, I agree. And again, I don't like the idea of making those teams de facto above the others. I'm a big believer, earn it. I don't care what's on the front of your jersey, what's on the back of your jersey. I don't care what patches on your jersey. You earn your right to be in that playoff. You earn it. It's not an invitational. At least, you know, everybody outside of Florida State believes it's not an invitational. But very seriously, it's not an invitational. This is you need to earn your way in, period. It shouldn't be a situation where, well, I'm the third best team in this conference. I ain't won diddly squat. I wasn't even in the conference championship game, but I knew my ticket was punched soon as I finished third. Absolutely not.
Yeah, 100% agree there. Let's take a quick break and then talk through some state of the ACC play. Are you the kind of driver that likes to push things further? Ever wonder what adventure could be around the corner? Our friends at Nissan have a lineup of SUVs with capabilities to take your adventure to the next level. The Nissan Pathfinder has room up to 8 and expansive cargo capacity and advanced available 4x4 capabilities with 284 horsepower and up to 6,000 pounds of towing. When adventure calls, the Pathfinder is there to answer. Take the Nissan Rogue, Nissan Pathfinder, or Nissan Armada and go find your next big adventure. Shop nissanusa.com. So we're talking through the state of the ACC from the football lens. And, as we're mentioning Florida State going through their season-long, summer-long, will they not be a part of our league when it's all said and done? Just the state of the ACC to where people are even questioning if you should be in a Power 5 automatic get 3, get 2, get 1 sort of bid situation. Have we finally come to grips with we're just an inferior conference, or should we give a big middle finger?
Not one middle finger, not 2 middle fingers. Tell your friend get involved so you can put up 3 middle fingers to this idea. Again, I want to know what metric we're using to determine who's the best. Mm-hmm. We talked last year about the ACC schedule, the ACC's record against the SEC, and everybody told us, well, that's not the best against the best. So do that then. Do that. Guess what? Next year and the years beyond that, if y'all feel so confident that, hey, we are head and shoulders above the ACC, start scheduling home and homes. Do it. Let's do it. Word for word, bar for bar. You see a team just won the conference championship. Hey, buddy, it's Kirby. How you doing, man? I just want to talk to you. Hey, it's Coach DeBoer. How you doing? Coach Norvell, you just won yourself an ACC championship. I want you to get the opportunity. I want you to give you the opportunity to show everybody you belong. Come talk to me.
Well, do you feel like the ACC is not playing the game well enough? Because I think at this point, it's like maybe the Big Ten and the SEC are head and shoulders above financially. Sure, you could make that argument and have those things. But when it comes to just not only the national landscape, but how we're sort of maneuvering from a scheduling standpoint, like what is the missing piece for the ACC that seems to have us so far behind?
I mean, I think it is just Jim Phillips having those conversations, being visible, being in those rooms. If you have a winning record versus a conference, and you are on the same level as that conference in terms of like Power 5, Group of 5, whatever the case may be, which now we're looking at Power 4, but whatever, you're on the same level as that conference. There should be no way that people are like, oh, you're not even in the same league. You're not playing the same ballgame. There should be no way. But because Jim Phillips does not do his job as the ambassador of this thing, that's what it is. And a lot of people say we're too critical of Jim Phillips. And I do agree that the coaches also need to do their part in pushing this thing forward. But guess what? If you're the commissioner, go ahead and commish. This is your time. You got to make something shake, my brother in Christ. That's all we ask.
I completely agree there. I think beyond just that, in terms of trying to make ultra level competitiveness, it's just like, no, let's game the system. Let the system win for us. Like, I understand wanting to have the most competitive regular schedule, but I also understand trying to get our names in the conversations when it's towards the end of the season. We got to play dirty. And we got to play to win. Got to win, and winning matters in the end. We should not have an undefeated team questioning themselves or not being able to participate in national championship or college football playoffs sort of standards. Like, that was the metric that let me know that we're no longer on the same playing field. But how we get back or figure out how to stay in cahoots with those, sort of criteria is really what's bugging me, and we need to figure that out fast.
Yeah, for sure. So, and the thing that I would 1,000% agree with you on is if your team wins out, there shouldn't be any argument, any conversation, anything like that. And again, I think it's a lot about sometimes we need to do a better job, and this is on the fans here, come together and rally behind one another, right? I get it. Listen, I hate the Dirty Foot Club as much as the next person, right? They call themselves the Tar Heels. That's what their name is, but I call them the Dirty Foot because that's what a Tar Heel is. But that's neither here nor there. If there was a situation where they are about to go to the playoff. And it's either they go to the playoff or Ole Miss goes to the playoff. At minimum, I'm going to shut the hell up. At minimum.
Dare I say you cheer for them? Dare I say?
All right, now let's not push it.
It's a stretch.
Let's not push
Dirty Foot Club is actually insane, but
well, they put a dirty foot on the side of their helmet. I remember when I played, there was a chrome helmet with a blue dirty foot. It was weird, but that's neither here nor there.
That's the game that you got. Was that the run back game?
That's neither here nor. Well, I didn't play in that game, but whatever. Okay. The reality is this. You have to get behind each other like that, because I remember when the Florida State thing was happening, there were too many ACC fan bases that were like, y'all don't deserve to be there. Baby,
the hate is real over here, but ain't that what a rivalry is for? Do you think Ohio State fans were cheering for Michigan?
But listen, and with all due respect, I need everybody to understand this, okay? Because Candace and I have had this argument off air plenty of times. With all due respect, none of our rivalries are that storied. With all due respect. So
can
with that in mind,
that stupid shit. Sorry.
I want somebody to show me where the rivalry stretches as deep, as long, has as many impactful games. And again, I'm talking on the gridiron. I ain't talking about, because if we talk basketball, if we talking all sports, the Battle of the Blues, we about to talk about the importance of that this year coming up. So I'm not going to disrespect you like that. I'm not going to disrespect Dean, K, all those guys. I ain't going to do that.
Okay.
But with that in mind, when it comes to football, back each other up. Canes fans, I know it was hard. I know. At minimum, just zip it. Just let them cook until the selection is over. And the same thing should be the favor should be returned if it's Florida State in another team. Florida State, I know you want out, but you're still here for now. Okay, you're still here for now. Even if the marriage ain't happy, y'all got to go to the kids' events together. And we love each other so much.
Hello, hard enough, right?
Exactly.
I agree, but I also think that at the end, rivalries are what they are. We can only do so much. We can only love on, cheer on, or support so much. We got to get to the dance before we can even get to that sort of state. So I think that's where we sort of figure things out. But as we look towards talking about basketball, let's wrap up this football one in a nice little bow. I truly believe that there's a 14-team playoff. There's only going to be 2 ACC teams that find their way in the tournament, and that's scary. Playoff.
It sounds good in theory, but I think that it should be left completely open for best teams get in, period.
But best teams get in. Goes back to what's considered the best, because if you don't consider our conference to be the best, then you're damn sure not going to rally around.
But that's why I say the ACC needs to do call-outs and make it public. Make it public. If you call the school up, and they don't want it, and this is where the coaches come in at. Dabo, if you calling up Georgia and Kirby and he not picking up the phone, make it public. During ACC media days when they say, how do you go forward without using the portal? I don't know much about using the portal, but I know about using the phone. I called Kirby Smart to get a game, and he didn't want to play us. I don't know what's going on down there in Athens, but that's just what it is. And granted, I'm using that as an example because Clemson and Georgia are, in fact, playing next year. So that's what I'm doing there. But that's what all these coaches should do. All of them. Doran, pick up the phone. Yeah, Heupel, he don't want the smoke. He don't want to. We called him. We told him you can come to Raleigh. We can come to Rocky Top. We can do a little home to home, get everybody paid in this thing. He don't want to be. Coach Fran, hey, I called them boys down there in Vanderbilt. They said, we are a baseball school, brother. We don't want nothing to do with the gridiron. That's what he told me. So, make it very clear that you want, and let's say this. It's not just the SEC. Call up the Big Ten, too, because that's where you can really get some wins in. Call up Wisconsin.
A Michigan team that's getting a new coach, an Alabama team that's getting a new coach. This might be the year that we want blue, we want Bama.
And this is what I'm saying. Even beyond the top of the top. Hello, Norvell. Call up Ryan Day. Give him a call. Everybody should be called up James Franklin. Everybody should be. Hey, Jimmy, how you doing, man? How you doing? We want to come up there to Happy Valley. Y'all do a whiteout? I know y'all love them whiteouts up there. Come on with it. All I'm saying is coaches need to make it publicly known. We want to play the best in the ACC. And that way there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because if you lose, if you get the doors blown off you like everybody outside of the ACC and the Big 12 nationally think you will, then guess what? You have no leg to stand on to complain. But if you win, hold on. Oh, what Cat Williams say? They got all the resources. They got all the material. But put us on the line. I bet it don't make a difference, boy.
And on that note, let's talk about our friends at FanDuel, who are trying to get you in on some good betting action. Get buckets with your first bet on FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, because right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with a winning $5 bet. That's $150 if your bet wins. Quick bets, live-saving game parlays, exclusive props. Bet on all your favorite NBA players and teams. Just visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and shoot your shot. FanDuel is the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. Kenton, Gibbs, and I landing this plane here, talking through some more ACC conversations, and we would be remiss if we did not mention that college basketball is near its end. The women have the regular season on lock. They are getting ready for ACC tournament play. The men, however, have a couple more left, and boy, oh boy, did we not have a doozy to start this Monday. Duke, NC State, senior night did not quite go how the Wolfpack thought. However, conversations I'm sure need to be had about the prolonging of Keats's tenure, Duke getting their mind right to potentially be regular season champs, and all the things in between.
I don't want to talk about NC State. I want to talk about the resilience, the bravery, the courage of one Kyle Flip Filipowski coming back from they said that his knee and his ankle was falling off the bone, like when Turkey Leg Hut hold that leg upside down in Houston. They said that's how bad he was after that court storming. And look at him, back already. What a man, what a mighty good man they got there in Durham.
He found a will and a way.
He found a will, a way, some Scotch tape, some cat guts. They put that leg back together quick, didn't they? Because after that court storming, they said that they trampled his leg.
I thought his season was kapooey.
Hello. But he's
here
back.
He goes.
He's back and balling. In the words of Bryson Tiller, he's back and he's better. And so,
sorry, this is an aside, but I have to say it. It was fugazi when they decided to play him during the Louisville game.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I was like, not the next game, because you could have sat out one. You definitely could have sat out. Can I finish? That's what I'm saying. Of all games, you decide that your knee was a miracle. You wanted to get another run. The Louisville game, if you wanted to test your lie a little longer, you definitely shouldn't have played the Louisville game, because there was no way that you were going to lose that one. So you finessed the bug, and that's all right. But we're still court storming. Is that not crazy?
Yeah, it was extremely crazy. But, when the team rallies around a captain who shows such guts,
such chutzpah,
such want to, such stick-to-itiveness. That's the type of thing, and I'll tell you what, this upcoming Battle of the Blues, that's what this thing is about. And this is why I said no story rivalries in football, because when it comes to that here hardwood, there's nothing like the Battle of the Blues.
If Armando gets the business from a bootleg Filipowski.
Come on now. All right, listen, I know we joking about Kyle
being hurt. Walk back to Rams.
That boy is perfectly fine. He is healthy as a horse. Let's stop playing, okay?
Healthy as a horse is crazy. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, Kyle is hello, Kyle, ain't nothing wrong with that young man. But anyway, this Battle of the Blues is going to be an exciting one, because we are gearing up for what is likely going to be, actually, now that I think about it, even if UNC loses to Notre Dame, that game will still decide the ACC champion. The Battle of the Blues decides the ACC regular season champion, regardless of what happens against Notre Dame. So this is what I mean by one of the most story rivalries in all of sports, especially college sports. When you talk hardwood rivalries, there aren't many more that reach this level. Actually, I'd say there isn't another that reaches the level in terms of basketball. And so, as much as we talk about Jimmy and what he is and ain't doing, he did something with this scheduling and said, We're gonna put them on last game of the year for the ACC. We'll make something.
Little dazzle.
Little dazzle.
Last game. But no, I 100% agree. I think that there's a great slot of games happening on Tuesday. We're going to talk about all of those next week on next episode. So make sure you check that out. Then I think for NC State, though, just to round out, because it was the Monday game, do we keep Keats around or is it time to go?
Grayson Boone and I have come up with a slogan that apparently Boo Corrigan don't agree with us on. No dance, no chance.
No dance, no chance. Did Boo respond to y'all on Twitter?
He didn't.
Okay.
I think Boo said it don't matter if they dance, he's still gonna get a chance. And
I know that very powerful people really do listen to your show, like not even trying to be funny. So I was actually being serious in the sense of, like, did he slide near DMs? Like, all right, chill out.
Well, listen, I can tell you this, okay? We have had different administrators and whatnot slide our DMs and tell us school out. Boo ain't been one of them, okay? And again, I admire his resilience in staying the course with some coaches because there was a point in time where many people wanted to get rid of Doran. He stayed the course. Look what's going on now.
What's going on? No, I'm just kidding.
We ain't got the same thing going on with Keats. Okay. You know what I mean? In the words, never mind. We're not going to go there. Long story short, ain't nothing going on in there, okay? Ain't nothing going on that hardwood. Ain't nothing going on, in the PNC. Let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this up.
I honestly, unfortunately, agree there. It's been a nice ride. I love the ice cream after wins, but it doesn't seem to be working. And there are key wins that he needed to get in order to make this sort of relevant. Especially, you had the excuse of the Roys and the Coach K era, but it was really sort of, what is he going to do once both of them retire? And the answer still is not much. And so that's where I say, okay, maybe he's not the guy. Maybe you need a young whippersnapper. Who knows what you need to kind of change this thing around. But NC State is a good historic program, and trying to get back to that, I think, is what the next coach will do. On Tuesday, we will see Notre Dame face off against North Carolina. Virginia Tech will play Louisville. Syracuse will play Clemson. Georgia Tech will play Wake Forest, and Florida State will play Pitt. So if you have not got a chance to read the docket, those are some great games happening, as some of those teams are definitely on the cusp, Pitt being one of them, Wake Forest being another, Clemson and Syracuse definitely vying for chances. So I think those are big wins that each of those schools mentioned certainly need to have as we're gearing up for the ACC tournament. The auto bid is feeling more and more crucial for some of our programs, but NCAA tournament is feeling more and more unlikely for some, and that's sad because we know how good our conference is, but apparently we just swallow each other up.
Well, that's a That's
my
a
God.
very.
This is why I can't chill with men, because it's just.
No, I didn't. Okay.
PD Jakes, I don't know. Whatever.
Anyway, what I was gonna say was that's a very apt description of what's happened here, and how the national media looks at us, because now people are saying that Wake Forest pissed down their leg late, and it's like they've lost to some good teams. Oh well. If they piss down their leg, then that means the Pitt also isn't good. And it's like, come on, let's stop this. Let's stop this justifying that teams are bad, because, again, y'all need to start gaming the system like the Big 12 does. Play the Island of Misfit Toys University, beat them by 25, and then keep it pushing.
100% agree. All right, guys, make sure you come back tomorrow as we go over and recap the games mentioned here on today's show, and then we will have some more football updates for you. Maybe talk a little combine, who stood out for us that we've been known were stars that you should keep an eye out if you want to see them on your NFL team. For Candace Cooper and Kenton Gibbs, until next time.